Joining me now is the host of the To Die For podcast, Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, let's start with the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. He has been sensationally found not guilty of the most serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking, but he has been found guilty on 2 counts relating to prostitution. The 2 federal charges do carry hefty jail terms, but Diddy's fans were celebrating the acquittals. I shouldn't be laughing, Kinsey, but they're celebrating there with baby oil. What else can you tell me? Can Diddy expect to be home before Christmas?
You know, O.J. Simpson's former attorney, Alan Dershowitz, believes Diddy will get off on the existing guilty verdicts through a strong appeal process. Other attorneys suggest he won't spend more than 2 years in jail. So, I would just like to say we told you so, because right here on this show, we discussed how much the racketeering charges were almost insane, that we thought that the jury would have a hard time processing the racketeering charges, and that perhaps the prosecution overstepped when it came to everything that they were pursuing. So Rita and Kinsey, we told you so. But, I worked with Diddy. I told you I didn't have a bad experience with him, but I have seen a video where he beat the heck out of Cassie, and I would never work for him again after this.
No, I think we were all utterly disgusted by that, and some of the accounts that were described in court, some of them weren't illegal, but they were disgusting. But let's move on to the Sussexes, one of our favourite topics. Meghan Markle, her lifestyle company, As Ever, another silly name for a brand. She just can't get the namings and the branding right. But tell me about As Ever being forced to issue refunds. What's that about, Kinsey?
Yeah, some fans who managed to snag Meghan's apricot spread are now being told their orders can't be fulfilled. The company says demand was higher than expected, and they are going to have to issue refunds. In an email to customers, they wrote, "Due to high demand, we are unable to fulfill your order of the apricot spread at this time. We are refunding your purchase by the end of this week." Meghan's also promising them a free jar. But Rita, there's a severe difference between hype or exclusivity and operational and logistical failure. And Meghan Markle is the latter.
I love how they're selling this as that demand is just so high, as if they can't. I mean, what sort of a operation has she got that she can't manufacture a few more jam jars? I mean, we're not talking about a complicated product here. Now, Kinsey, you've got some exclusive information about the launch of Meghan's new rosé. She released a 2023 Napa Valley rosé on the same day as the late Princess Diana's birthday. And Kinsey, you say the royal family isn't happy about this at all. They're not happy about the timing. Tell us what you know.
That's right. And again, sold out, sold out, sold out. By the way, that was the second time Meghan's had to issue refunds because she didn't have enough product. I'm curious to see if the rosé, anybody that purchased the rosé will get a similar email saying, "Oops, sorry, we don't have the actual product you purchased." But as you know, Diana tragically lost her life in a car crash by an impaired driver, making the decision to launch an alcohol brand on Princess Diana's birthday by Meghan, not just tone deaf, but deeply insensitive. And a source close to the royal household told me it's not lost on Prince William that Meghan has launched an alcohol brand on his mother's birthday, the very mum he lost in a drink driving tragedy. When I asked if there was anger around Meghan using Diana's birthday to promote her commercial products, they said it's what he's come to expect from her. He doesn't think much of her. And they said that William and Catherine have become quite good at ignoring the Sussexes, but anything to do with his mother is still a tender spot. I'm curious to know your opinion. Can you believe that she would release an alcohol product, launch this big brand on Diana's birthday, who died at the hands of a drunk driver?
It is so tone deaf, but I'm not surprised because everything this couple does is tone deaf. Everything they do just reeks of hypocrisy and self-involvement, self-interest. And using Princess Di's birthday for any sort of product launch, I think, is in bad taste, let alone something like this, which is obviously anyone with any sort of sense would go, wait a second, that's possibly not something you want to be doing. Now, let's talk a little bit about Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Their legal war continues, and it just got a little bit crazier. It's not just Taylor Swift who's been dragged into this fight, but now Blake Lively's legal team has subpoenaed Candace Owens and Perez Hilton, the blogger Perez Hilton. Why, Kinsey?
Because Blake's team believes that Candace Owens and Perez Hilton are in cahoots with Justin Baldoni. So they're demanding to see any communication between Candace Owens and Justin Baldoni or anybody associated with him. I mean, the media landscape is changing and internet commentators are becoming a new category of journalists. And what happened to freedom of the press? This feels like intimidation. I think it's scary, and it makes me nervous.
Oh, it is just so ridiculous to suggest that male feminist with the man bun, Justin Baldoni, or anyone associated with him is briefing Candace Owens. And even if they were, like, you're right, this is the freedom of the press. You should be able to protect your sources. And as long as what they were releasing wasn't defamatory or breaching the law in some way, I don't see what the problem is. But yeah, I would be very shocked if there was any sort of connection there. Kinsey Schofield, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time tonight.